What I want to do, it's not going to take too long, but before I do it, I want to pass out a quiz. This is a quiz that I was trained to give 2 weeks ago by the state of Texas. The state of Texas has allowed me to become a certified instructor in drug education. And this is a test that everybody has to take when you have got yourself in a situation where you have been caught, been sentenced, and have met your parole officer and have been told you have to come and see me for $100 a session. That's a good job. Okay? So if a couple of you could pass these out real quick, I'm going to keep one here. Give one to all the kids too, if you would. These are not kids, are they? I'm sorry. Young adults.
Young adults.
Actually, not so young adults. They're getting to be fully
Adults.
Anyway, we're going to have fun, so I can yank your chain a little bit, right? Just a little bit. Okay? Let's look at these questions real quick. Question number 1. And these are the questions that in your mind you answer silently. Okay? In your mind. I don't need a show of hands, because personally there's some stuff on here I don't want to know. First question, have you been sexually active since 1977? Now, most of you weren't born in 1977, so you haven't been sexually active since 1977, but it should read 1977 or later, and you don't have to raise your hand. Have you had more than one sexual partner since 1977? That's a good question. Have you been treated for or diagnosed with a sexually transmitted disease since 1977? I don't know what 77 has to do with it, but you're going to find out. Have you ever shared needles or for tattoos, ear piercing, or to inject steroids or illicit drugs? Now, nobody's ever going to own up to the illicit drug part, okay? But do you have tattoos? What about the needle? Where did you get it? Who cleaned it? That's the question. Have you ever shared needles or had sex without a condom with a person from New York, California, Florida, Texas, or Greg? New Jersey. Greg's from New Jersey, by the way. Have you ever had sex
there? Okay, go
Huh?
ahead.
What's that? Oh, I told you silently, man, but there's more information we need. There really is. All right. Have you ever had sex with a man who has had sex with another man? That's interesting. Have you ever had sex with someone who uses crack? Have you ever had sex with someone who is infected with HIV or has been diagnosed with HIV, AIDS? But look at the last question. Have you ever had sex with someone who could answer yes to any of those questions? Because if you have, you are at risk. The last question is the one, I mean, everybody jokes about the first ones, but the last one is scary. Because if you have ever had with someone who could say yes, and you have no way of knowing, right? You have no way of knowing. Oh, by the way, did you guys know you were getting in on the sex education class? No? Oh, I can see right now, he's going to kill me before this is over. Yes.
One question, does that include protected sex?
I'm sorry?
Does that include protected sex, like condom and stuff
Oh,
like that?
protected sex. Yes, does that include protected sex?
Yes.
Dr. Goldberg, the best protected sex has what? 10 to 15% chance of?
Yeah, it's about 10%, 10 to 15% chance of error.
So have you ever?
It's not 100% protected.
It's not 100%. So when they say safe sex, they're lying to you because there's no such thing except in one condition. Yes.
And being a registered nurse now, you know when the AIDS epidemic first hit, the pore of a common latex condom, 500 HIV viruses could fit through, 1,000 HIV viruses could fit through the pore of a common latex condom. They've since improved the technology, so now maybe it's 500.
What? How many? 500
Yeah.
virus
When you look at the size of the HIV virus, about 500
goes
viruses, if you put them
through
together, can go through the pore of
the
a common
pores
latex
of a
condom.
condom.
That ought to just
Hello?
wake you up.
Yeah.
Safe sex. But the whole gay community says use condoms. In fact, in public schools, what do they pass out? Condoms, because it's safe. Right? Wrong. End of story. Okay, I need my volunteers.